If you're watching this video, chances are you're in one of the most difficult chapters of your life. Maybe you lost someone recently. Maybe you're struggling with guilt, replaying conversations, or asking yourself what if questions that feel like they're eating you alive from the inside. I want you to know something right now. Something that might be hard to hear but could change everything for you. What happened is not your fault. The person you lost chose their path before you met them. I'm Laura, and some years ago, I lost my grandfather in a way that left me drowning in guilt, self blame, and what ifs. For months, I tortured myself with every possible scenario where I could have done something different until I learned something that completely shifted my understanding of loss, which is free will and the spiritual contracts we make before coming to earth. In the next minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to expect in early grief, why the guilt you're carrying isn't yours to bear, and how understanding the deeper spiritual nature of life and death can begin to bring you peace. We will cover the real stages of grief, not the sanitized version most people teach, and I will give you practical tools to navigate this journey with more grace and less self destruction. If you're ready to start healing in a way that honors both your pain and the truth of what happened, stay with me here. Let's start with the truth nobody talks about. Early grief doesn't look like what you see in the movies. It is not neat, it is not linear, and it's definitely not something you get over in a few weeks or months. Early grief is chaotic. One moment you're numb, feeling nothing at all. The next, you're hit by a wave of pain so intense it literally takes your breath away. You might find yourself laughing at a memory and then feeling guilty for having a moment of joy. You've probably heard about the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Here's what most people don't tell you: these stages aren't a checklist you work through in order. They're more like weather patterns that come and go, sometimes all in the same day. In early grief, you might cycle through all 5 stages before lunch. You might get stuck in one stage for weeks, and you might skip stages entirely or experience one that aren't even on the list, like relief, anxiety, or a spiritual awakening. All of this is part of your unique grief journey. Physically, early grief can feel like being hit by a truck. You might experience exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, a heavy feeling in your chest, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, changes in your appetite, either eating nothing or eating everything, sleep disruption like insomnia or sleeping too much. Emotionally, you might feel like you're losing your mind. This intense emotional upheaval is your way of processing an incompressible loss. You're not broken, you're breaking open, and that's where the healing begins. If you're blaming yourself for what happened, you're not alone. Survival's guilt is one of the most common and painful aspects of early grief. Your mind keeps replaying scenarios. If only I had called more often. If only I had insisted they see a doctor. If only I had been there. The guilt serves as a psychological purpose. It gives you the illusion of control. It's easier to blame ourselves than to accept that some things are beyond our power. But here's the truth: this guilt is not serving you, and more importantly, it's not accurate. We live in a culture that promotes the illusion that we can control everything. We are told that if we eat right, exercise, think positive thoughts, and make good choices, we can prevent bad things from happening. This belief system makes loss feel like a personal failure, but the reality is that life involves variables we cannot control: genetics, accidents, other people's choices, timing. There are countless factors that influence outcomes, and most of them are completely outside your sphere of influence. When you lost this person, you were dealing with their free will, their spiritual path, their soul's journey, and forces much larger than your individual actions. You are never meant to be responsible for another person's entire existence. From many spiritual traditions, we understand that souls come to earth with specific lessons to learn and experience to have. This includes the timing and manner of their departure. Your loved one's soul chose their path, including when and how to live, long before you even tried to influence it. This doesn't mean we shouldn't care for each other or try to help. It means that ultimately each soul has the right to choose their journey, and interfering with that choice, even with the best intentions, goes against the fundamental spiritual principle of free will. You loving them, caring for them, and wanting them to stay was beautiful and important, but it was never your job to override their soul's deeper knowing about their path.